All right. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this.
All right.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
Whoop whoop.
I am
Hello.
so happy to do this. I'm ecstatic. So it was only like 2 nights ago I contacted you, Crystal, and I said, "Hey, when would you like to do another live broadcast on your page?" And what was your response?
Thursday.
I know. So, and that was like, almost 24 hours ago, really. I mean, my
Right.
time. So I'm happy to do this. It's been, I was looking at your page. It's been actually since like last May that we went live on your page,
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
right? And so we're due. And it is our honor and our distinct privilege to have the fabulous Lisa Baxter in our presence in the house.
You better go ahead.
How's it going, Lisa? In the big
Oh.
NYC.
New York, New York, New York. New York is fantabulous. Hey, Crystal, how you doing,
Hey,
honey?
I'm good. And yourself?
Alive and kicking.
That's
Alive
the
and
best
kicking.
way to be.
I was laughing because the light went out over there. The other thing didn't want to plug in. I start laughing. I grabbed both laptops, the cell phone, but listen, it's all good. That's how it is when you're live, you know?
Yeah.
That's right. Welcome to the show, Shell Allen, a recent kidney transplant recipient. Thank you very much for tuning in and supporting Crystal.
Hi, Shell. Thank you.
All right, now, yeah. So
Hey, Shell.
you've been battling a lot of different tribulations and since last May,
Yes.
Crystal. I mean, my goodness. I mean, kidney warriors in general, they go to battle every day against kidney disease. But you have more than kidney disease. You also have autoimmune disease that you battle. You have disabilities, right?
Yes.
Perhaps you could expound on some of these tribulations, these extra challenges that have come your way since last May.
Oh, absolutely. It's been so many of them. They've been in something I've been dealing with for quite some time. Some of them started before the kidney failure, so it was just
Uh-huh.
and it seemed like it was back to back to back. I have an autoimmune condition. It's called polymyositis.
Mm.
And as we
Polymyositis,
know,
okay.
right, poly means many, and myositis
Right.
is muscles. So many of my muscles are affected. Any muscles can be affected with this. I'm
Okay.
actually fortunate because my muscles are affected and it does affect my mobility. But, as we all know, the heart is a muscle.
Yes.
And some people with this condition, it affects their heart. Some people it affects their, they
Wow.
can't eat, they can't chew, they can't swallow. I am fortunate that it has not affected me in that way. But how it did affect me, like I said, is my mobility. And
Right.
I can't get up from seated positions without assistance. The only way I can, it has to be, I'm 6 feet. And the only way I can get up from a seated position is it has to be raised up high. So I'm basically coming down. I can't push up, but I can come down. So a lot of my things in my home are accommodating to me so that I can get around a lot. But when I'm going out to all these doctor's appointments and things like that, I need assistance because I can't get up and down like that.
So there's always got to be a family member or a close friend that is there available to assist you with your appointments.
Absolutely.
I mean, if there's anyone out there that can relate to you as far as mobility is concerned, Lisa, you very well can relate to that issue.
Oh yeah. Well, I besides polycystic kidney disease and being on dialysis 12 years and getting a transplant, I have bone joint disease. What is it? Bone joint disease, osteoporosis. And I'm laughing because I'm on the right side of me from my hip on down to my foot. You'll see me moving around a lot because I get uncomfortable. They haven't been able to give me anything for that. So, I have creams and ointments and sprays and soaking and stuff like that. And I fell in the house and everything. And nobody heard me. And it took me 2 hours to get off the floor. And I crawled back into the bed. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about when you need assistance or help. And, there's sometimes you'll get that. I don't know. And sometimes I don't get it, or they don't hear me, or I just didn't have anybody running to the rescue, really. So I had to do little tricks to get around and to do things on my own and myself or be independent. It sometimes hurt or upset me, but where there's a will, there's a way, especially if you have to sit on the floor for 2 hours and you're figuring out, how I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this and that. So, yeah. So I can relate to you. And you look wonderful. I ain't mad at you. You look fantabulous. I can't believe anything's wrong with you. I'm like, wait.
And that's funny because when you say you can't believe anything's wrong with me, there's a whole lot. I've only touched the tip of the iceberg talking about
the tip of the iceberg, huh?
Yes.
But the thing about you, Crystal, is you go to battle, but you have a strong faith in God. And that must help you. That must be not only your weaponry, but your armor that you put on every day, your faith. Right?
Absolutely. I know that this is only a temporary. This is not going to be forever. I believe when the Bible tells me that this is not going to be forever. This earth is not going to be this type of situation we're in now. All of us, we're not going to be like this forever because this is not what God purposed for us. If you believe in God, you know that Jehovah is a loving God, and a loving God doesn't want you to be hurt. This is not what he purposed for us, and it will be changed. Right. The Bible says that, and I believe it wholeheartedly. I want to say one moment I saw someone say, type something up here, and it just made me smile. It was it's a friend of mine from childhood, actually. So hi, Cheryl.
Is it
how precious?
Cheryl Newton?
Yes. I've known her since junior high school.
Wow. That's going back great.
Yeah, that's going back.
That's awesome. When I love to see when friends and family members come out and support. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that made me smile. Oh, love you, Cheryl.
Oh, yeah. She got your back.
So then Cheryl must be in Pennsylvania. Is that in the Langhorne area then?
No. She's outside of Philadelphia as well, but right outside.
Okay.
But I didn't know her from Langhorne because remember, I'm from actually Philadelphia, so we lived in.
That's right. So you moved back home when you came back to Philadelphia.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay. All
I
right,
moved
so
back
now,
to my mother's house. She's over here. I don't know if she wants to get on this camera. She's sitting right here. Mom, I don't know
yeah,
why.
we would love this. We would love to see Mom. Tell her to give us a peep.
Mommy, how you doing?
Wait, Mom, come over a little bit. There she is.
Hey, Mom, we can see Mom. All right.
Hey, Cheryl. I remember her, little girl. How's everybody?
That is so precious. Not so very nice to meet your mom. I love it.
Yeah,
She's a big part of my support system. Two biggest parts of my support system is my mother and my son. They take me to my appointments. My son makes sure I get to dialysis. If I use CCT, which is part of like the public transportation. But it's like, the buses that come and get you, and they're not very reliable. So my son is my backup for that.
Yeah, I know. I take stuff too.
Yeah, my mom takes me to appointments. We finally got it together where she can assist me to get out the house and into the car and stuff like that. So now, I'm getting on her now because now I want to get up and go now because just her and I, we can go. We can do this.
Get on.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great.
She
support
wants to believe
system
she's old. She says she's old. She just said
he looks good. He looks good.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh yeah, she's fabulous.
Let's just say I don't mind telling my age, and I'm 50. So you can do the math.
Oh, you're better than I am, and Crystal. We were born in the same year. I was born in March.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, I have to always remind you though, Jeff. You are older than me.
Yeah. Well, every morning I have to get up really early for work between 4:30 and 5, and my body reminds me that I'm old now. I mean, every morning now I wake up and it seems like there's something else creaking.
Oh wow.
Cracking, and I'm like, it's just not as easy to get up that early in the morning anymore.
Wow. Well, I'm 58. And January, I will turn 58. And, a lot of things I could still do. And my Archbishop used to always say, you can fool anything but a flight of stairs. And I tell you, you ain't never lied. I got a couple of bruises to see, man. Oh, goodness, But listen, I'm a fighter just like you are. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you give a lot of things some karate chops, some uppercuts and stuff like that. And, and you make it look easy. And I know it's not, and I do appreciate that about you. You got that piano smile smiling out, you know what I mean? And in spite of what you're dealing with and what you're going through, you got your faith speaking for you and talking for you. Girl, preach. I ain't mad at you. Your life is saying a lot.
Thank you. You have to. I mean, even with everything that we all could possibly go through, sometimes it'll knock you down a little bit because we're human, but you have to know that you got to get back up. You can't stay down there. You can't.
No, that's true. That's the truth right there.
To God be the total glory. I know that's right.
Right. I mean, you can't let kidney disease defeat you, and you can't let it define you.
Yeah,
now,
you really can't.
So back to these tribulations, these new extra challenges that you've been going through, Crystal. You actually, due to these challenges, were hospitalized, and it was very scary. It was very serious. It had to do what you were telling me. It even got as bad as sepsis.
Yes, I had sepsis. I was sepsis. I have another condition. I told you it's a whole lot of them now. And this one is called it's Hydronitis. And it's basically a skin condition where you get these abscesses. Get them all the time. But sometimes they become infected. And sometimes they become very infected, which is what happened. And extremely painful. And I had to be admitted into the hospital, and that's when they discovered that I was sepsis. So I'm very glad that I had the thought to go to the hospital, because I've been dealing with this on and off for several years, like over 30 years. I was a teenager when I first started dealing with this, but it was much different when I was younger, because I would just get them occasionally. They would go away. It wasn't what it has turned snowballed into now, but I still handled it for the most part by, on my own, taking care of things, which I was trying to do at that point. But I knew something was telling me this isn't the same.
So it was different this time.
Yeah, and I knew how I was feeling. I said, this isn't the same. So, and then my son was the one who took me to the emergency room. And when I told him, he was like, for that? Like, he's used to me having this. He's used to how I have it. So when I said, no, I need to get out of here, I got to go to the emergency room, he's like, well, I said, something's not right. And we went out and they admitted me. And that's when they discovered, that I was sepsis, and they were giving me the antibiotics. They were doing this intravenously and all kinds of things. I was in the hospital the first time for about a week. I was discharged on a Monday evening.
Did Jordan come pick you up, or was it your mom? After 1 week?
I think Jordan picked me up. Yeah, I had to remember. Because the first time I went to the hospital, the first time let me say this, I went twice. The first time I went by ambulance. And so they took me. No, I'm getting this backwards. See there, it was just 2 months ago, and I'm already, that 50 is just kicking me in.
No, it's all right.
It's that the combination of kidney disease and everything else, it does that.
Right. The first time I went, my son actually took me, so I went to the hospital of my choice. But I was discharged Monday evening. By Tuesday, the wee hours of the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning, we had to call the ambulance to take me back out of here. But I couldn't go back to that hospital that I was just discharged from, because it's not really the one closest to me. And as you know, the ambulance has to take you to the one closest to you. So then I was admitted to another hospital for another 5 days. So it was a total of almost 2 weeks that I was hospitalized. I was only home for a few hours in between the two hospitals. And the infection was still going on. And,
it is by no one likes to go to the hospital, but to be discharged and then go right back to the hospital.
Right back.
I'm sure you were wincing and not happy to be going back, huh?
Not at all. That's probably why I took to the wee hours of the morning, because I started feeling, and this is the thing, part of it was actually anxiety. I was having anxiety because having been in the hospital, and in our current times with COVID, I was already scared. Like, I hope I didn't get COVID while I was in there. I tried to be as careful as possible. And then I was home, and all of a sudden I felt like my chest was hurting. And it was all mental, but it was getting real bad. And that's why they had to call.
I can well imagine.
That was also a good thing. Again, I'm so grateful to Jehovah again, because I didn't know I was still infected. They should have never discharged me.
Wow.
I went back because of the symptoms I had from being anxious. And when I got there, it was still there.
They discovered that you still had the infection.
You still had it. Yeah. Infections are dangerous, and it could, it really could, turned out, worse than what it was.
Absolutely. I was just actually reading something today about a young woman who had, she was sepsis, and she let it go. She was sick, but she let it go, and she didn't get it handled, and she wound up losing limbs. She lost her legs and her arms.
You can easily die from sepsis, first and foremost, but second of all, what happens is it'll attack your organs.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want that. You already attacked in one organ. You sure don't want it on all of them.
Leave the rest of them alone. Now, one of them already needs help.
I'm telling you, let's not go there now. Don't even swim that direction. Go that way.
Exactly. That's the gospel truth right there. I mean, goodness sakes. So My goodness, I don't like going to hospitals anyway, but to have to go to the hospital during COVID-19 and find out that you have sepsis, my heart goes out to you, Crystal.
Yeah.
It was deep, and it was scary. You're wondering, am I catching anything else in here? I'm already compromised. I have a compromised immune system for several things. When you talk about, when they give you the list of things that when they say that you need to get well, everybody needs to get the vaccine, but when they talk about it in terms of things, and they say, oh, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease, I'm like, check. Autoimmune disease, check. I was checking everything, so I'm already terrified around anybody. Like, don't look at me, don't touch me. I'm terrified, and now I have different nurses and things that have to come in the house, and I have masks all over the place.
Come on, I know that's right.
Real quick, one of them come in here, I'm just that quick, like
disinfected. I had them everywhere in my pocket.
Yes, everywhere. Hand sanitizers everywhere. Everything's within my
gloves. So get it.
Yes.
So between doctors or nurses coming to see you, and then you having to go to these appointments, you have quite a busy schedule, because you have to also go to a hemodialysis center 3 times a week at 3 to 5 hours, a visit.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm totally.
So that's a juggling act there. That's a juggling act, Crystal. I mean,
it certainly is. You hit the nail on the head with that description. I am juggling appointments. I'm always trying to make appointments. I'm always having to tell them I can only have my appointments Tuesdays or Thursdays. I can only do these hours. And then I might sometimes have to wait weeks to be able to get in for this appointment or that appointment. And that's why it's been taking so long for me to get all of my my yearly appointments that we're required to keep up with, because my window of opportunity is so slim to be able to get these things done. And I'm finally, I think I have one more appointment for my yearly, which is the cardiologist. He may want to do another heart catheterization. He talked about possibly wanting to do that. So if he wants to do that, that's the only last thing I have to do for my yearly thing. But I started this process for my yearly appointments in August.
Yeah, in August,
November.
Is it COVID-19 that is presenting bigger obstacles to complete that yearly medical evaluation, or
no, not
why
for
is it
me?
taking so long?
Well, again, remember, I'm the exception to every rule, and I have like appointments, like when I had to get my mammogram because of my hydronitis.
So it's a matter of scheduling it around all your other appointments.
And I had to get this. I had to get a testing 2 times. Well, actually 3. I had to have 2 mammograms and an ultrasound, and it's only simply because I had active hydronitis. They knew what it was, but they had to, it was a little frustrating. Like, this is what it is. But again, I had to say, okay, step back a minute and be happy that they're erring on the side of caution.
Yes.
Because there's many times where you think you know what it is, and you want to check it, and it was something worse. And so I'm like, okay, I know. And even I had an appointment this Tuesday with the breast surgeon. And as soon as she came in and looked at everything, she was like, I don't know why you're here. I was like, please don't say that, because I know that as well. And I tried to tell the woman when she made me come and said I had to come. I said, but I had to come because I need to make sure you give me the okay for my transplant. So I had to come. She was like, this is your hydronitis. You think? I knew that like 2 tests ago, but
come on.
It's okay. Let's get it done. And now there's no question, and you can give me that thumbs up for the transplant team to say, I'm okay for transplant.
You're still good to go. And sometimes what people neglect to understand is I mean, this yearly medical evaluation, that alone can be stressful because you're already worried about finding a living kidney donor to shorten that wait that can be, between 5 and 8 years and sometimes longer than that, depending upon your state that you're in. You're already worried about that, and then you're battling this disease daily. So then on top of all that, you have to make sure that you're still medically eligible to be on the transplant list. Basically all these other ailments that are bothering you as a kidney warrior can't prevent you from being on that list, the transplant list, And on any given day, something can gig you, present such a big obstacle that it could knock you off that list, and that is on top of your mind, especially as you gear toward that time of year.
Right, and that's why it's like, come on, hurry up and get me this living kidney before they kick me off this list. It took me how long to get on the list? I struggled to even get accepted on a list. And it's like, come on, hurry up. Somebody out there, please give me one. You only need one. Can I have your spare? I just need one. And get me off this list.
What? Come on here. You really balance those balls good. I mean, the one on the nose everywhere. You have balanced those balls. And all it takes is one monkey wrench to knock your schedule off. You be having it down to a something to be one thing. I know when I was waiting for the kidney, I did all the tests. I did everything. But then they said, oh, we see a shadow on your breast. So I'm like, a shadow? What's a shadow? So they agitated me, tried to shake me up, scare me. So when I went to get it biopsy, the man said, I cannot biopsy a shadow. A shadow of what?
Exactly.
And I got the kidney. What really got on my nerves is that they still make me try to go for tests for that. So I get a sonogram here and there. They don't see nothing. So they won't let you have the kidney without it. So I said, if there's nothing there, why are y'all still aggravating me?
I know. I mean, chasing shadows is like chasing ghosts.
Come on, you know what I mean?
So you know exactly what I was talking about when I said about the appointment. When I got there, the doctor said, I don't know why you're here.
Please,
I don't either.
Come on. I've been, even when they made me go for the shadow thing, they said the same thing to me. Oh, it was the other center or the other place. Miss Baxter? I said, no, don't say that. I said, don't say Miss Baxter. Mrs. Baxter, don't say it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Come on, it takes car fare, it takes strength and patience to even go. Even though you don't have time to go, don't feel like going, too busy to go.
Exactly.
You want the kidney, right. So you're going to go. But then somebody come with some crazy story that make your wig fall off. You be like, what? So I don't know, but you hanging in there well. I mean, you've been a good patient. You're a great contender. I ain't mad at you. Come on here. Shondo.
Yeah, you can say that again. That's what's up. Now, so now it's a matter of juggling, balancing your appointments, and making sure that, like you said, when people come into your home, that they're social distancing, wearing the masks, right? And it is a balancing act. How has COVID-19 itself presented an obstacle during all these other things propping up? I mean, is it different at your dialysis center?
Really, actually, at my dialysis center, it's not that much different. The precautions that they were taking before, they continue to take. I'm at I really appreciate the center that I'm at, and I travel all the way back up to Ben Salem because I didn't want to switch centers, because that's how comfortable and happy I am with them. And I said, in all that I'm going through, I'm going to shake not one boat. Let it go. If I got to travel, I said, I'm not working. That is my job. So it's just like when I was working and I switched locations, and sometimes I had to travel for work. I got to travel to live, and that's fine. If I travel for work, I can travel to live.
I know that's right. Come on
Right.
here, preach, sister. Mm-hmm.
That's what I do, and it was fine. But as far as COVID itself, when COVID, this is the crazy thing. I told you it took me forever to even get accepted on a transplant list. I was accepted last January. Well, actually, yeah, January of 2020.
20.
Am I saying this right, or was it 20? I lost a year with COVID as well, so I get confused what year it was. But it had to have been 2020. And when I was accepted to Temple transplant, and they not too long after that was when COVID hit. So therefore, I couldn't go to like a lot of the different appointments, and I'm getting this wrong. Before I was accepted is when COVID hit. I was accepted on the transplant list this January 2021. But last January 2020 is when I was going through starting all the process of all the testing. And that's what made that year the testing go so slowly because of COVID. Because, there was a period of time that you couldn't go to the hospital for any kind of testing unless it was, an emergency.
That's right.
Right. And we're talking dire emergency. I mean,
exactly. So I couldn't go for a lot of my tests, or, they wanted to do a CAT scan for this or MRI. I couldn't get any of that done.
Right.
So I was put on hold.
And then how many of your appointments do you do remotely from home? Like
a few. I had one earlier this morning.
So do you do it through Zoom?
Yeah, I'm pushing more for the Zoom appointments or the phone appointments. You have some doctors that they won't do it. And then you get there for the appointment and you're like, and why am I here? We couldn't do this on Zoom. You're not even
I agree with you. I think we can learn some lessons. Right. I think we can learn some lessons from COVID-19, and that's that some things don't absolutely have to be done in person.
True.
So
true.
One thing is for sure is there were some things that you absolutely have to do in person for your bank. They love for you to go in person to the bank, right? Well, COVID-19 has shown us that almost nothing has to be done in person at the bank anymore.
And a funny story, my son, he's 22 now, and he's of the age where they do everything remotely. And I had a chat, and I'm what's that?
So Jordan's 22 is I've never seen him stand up next to you. Is he taller than you? You said you're 6 feet tall.
Jordan is 6'9".
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Woof. I ain't mad at him. Come on here.
But I had a check that I wanted him to go deposit in the bank for me. And he looked at me like I said something foreign. Go to the bank, deposit it. Mom, you could scan that with your phone and deposit. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll do that. I'm like, he gets me every time, looks at me like, you don't know that? I'm like, you just leave me alone. It was this meme I saw before that said, don't look at me or frown upon me if I don't know things that are, all the new ways to do things. You just remember, I have to learn just like I taught you how to walk and talk and eat. So
break it down.
Don't look at me like that because I don't know. You didn't know either.
Yeah, I used to be writing stuff down.
Yeah, that goes to show you don't have to go out your house. You can do everything remotely.
That's for sure. So exactly. We're learning lessons in during COVID-19. When it presents us these obstacles, we overcome and we learn. And you are definitely overcoming a lot of different things. These challenges, these obstacles, they are not beating you, Crystal. They are not beating you. And I admire your perseverance. I admire your strength. And you definitely are doing this because of your inner strength and your faith. Absolutely. I believe that.
Absolutely.
Jeff, let me ask let me ask a question here. Now, for the things that you deal with and the things that are would you say wrong or right with you, do you belong to any of the organizations of those type of illness, like polycystic kidney disease? I belong to the foundation of that. I belong to even things that's not wrong with me, diabetes. Well, I got diabetes from that pill I took. But anyway, do you belong to any of these things, or any of those things of support to you, or you letting them be a resource to you? Because you got to let your resources work for you all around you in your house, home, community, your neighborhood and stuff like that. Do they work for you? You said autoimmune system thing. I'm sure there's association for everything, a foundation or something. So
There is, but I need to do more research to find these things, because I'm sure there's a lot of things out there that I could benefit from that I have not taken advantage of.
As far as like support groups?
Yes.
Yeah, and some of them give money.
Excellent.
They give, they give money, or they pay bills, or give car fare, or pay sometime for certain illnesses and treatments that you might have to take, or medicine that you can't afford. Eat it all up and let it cater to you. That's my social worker skills talking.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you very much for those questions. That's excellent insight from the fabulous Lisa Baxter there.
The Brown brothers, I just love them both. Stop that. Thank you. They're family.
Hey, Crystal, I had the distinct honor, when was it, Lisa? It was back in, was it August?
Summertime.
August? Yeah. My family and I were in New York. My oldest daughter was getting settled, trying to find a place to live there in New York City, because she's going to Hunter College. So we had the honor of actually meeting in person Lisa Baxter and going to lunch with her.
Oh, we had such a ball. I still got the pictures. I still look at them, crack up about them. I hope she's doing well in college and all.
Yes, as a matter of fact, she just finished her first midterms. She says they went well, and she's just landed her first job, and we're looking forward to having her come back for Christmas.
Wow, oh man, I'm proud of her. She did that quick. I ain't mad at her. Go ahead, young stuff. Go ahead.
I know.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And above all, so doing this was a big adjustment. I mean, she started doing this independent thing in El Paso, Texas, but then COVID-19 hit and she had to come back here, and she was all right with being home, and we'd always welcome her back home. But to make the decision to go to New York City was a big adjustment in so many different ways,
Oh yeah, it's far and big.
Now,
don't pay me.
Some of these things that we don't discuss about dialysis, Crystal, is that dialysis can do things that your kidneys do, and then it cannot do some things that your kidneys were doing.
You ain't never lied.
Okay, so when you go to the dialysis center, I mean, that dialysis machine it'll filter out all the excess fluids, the toxins and the impurities, but it won't give you the electrolytes. It won't give you the vitamin D, and it won't regulate your blood pressure. Right? There are things that it won't do. So and those cases, a lot of times doctors, nephrologists will give you medication to help do those things that the dialysis machine doesn't do, like in way of iron, right? Vitamin D and things like that. So is your doctor prescribing you things in that way?
Yes. I especially the iron. And actually with me, my biggest thing, and I had to laugh because the nutritionist, I think that's who it is at the dialysis center, the dietitian, is the one that gives us our monthly blood work and our results. And she normally will put like a sticker next to the ones where you're on target. Well, she left because she just had 2 kids and decided to go home and be with her children. She's no longer there. So now I guess a few of them are pitching in to do that role until they get someone else. And this was the first. Everything on my list should have had a sticker, but the one thing I can never get in range is my protein level. We've been fighting with that, but everything else was within range. And the woman came to him. That's great. And I said, "Oh, you got to do better than this." And she said, "What?" I said, "Where are my stickers?" And she said,
"Where are my stickers?" Did you give her that look, Crystal, like Jordan gives you? Huh?
Yes. And she went to the woman's own office to even look for stickers. She said Emily didn't leave any stickers. She said, "But this is what I'll do." She came back with a pen and put a star next to each one of them. And I said, "Well, that'll do for now." I said, "But listen, I've been struggling trying to get this protein up to speed. If I get it up to speed," she said, "if you get it up to speed, I'm going to go get you some special stickers and put on." I said, "Okay, there you go."
Wow.
So I actually have to get something in the machine, every treatment to help with my protein. I've been dealing with a dietitian and a nutritionist on my own.
Oh, good.
That's been helping me. I actually found her through Facebook. She helps. She specializes in actually helping patients with the hydronitis through eating to help with your inflammation, because as a lot of us know, a lot of our issues are because of inflammation in our body. True. So she's helping me to eat towards that. I've only been doing it for about 2.5 weeks. It's been going fine. And then also
that's a balance of renal friendly things mixed with the hydrogenic friendly foods then.
Correct.
Yes.
And then it's just that's another balancing act with what I can eat and what I can't eat and different ones. I tell them all the time, don't ask me what I can have. I'll tell you, because you will rack your brain trying to figure out if I can have something. If you want to take me somewhere or offer me something, just offer it and I'll let you know. I'm okay.
Easier that way, yes. It becomes a teaching lesson and a school lesson, and it becomes like second nature to us, but a lot of times they don't to other people unless they live with you or with you a lot. Then they already say, you're not supposed to have that. More water,
right?
Hey, stop that. So yeah, true.
So here's a pretty good question from your friend Cheryl.
I see.
Do you get sunshine daily?
No. No, I don't.
Vitamin D. Yeah.
I'm on a vitamin D supplement, but I mean, and part of that again goes to the polymyositis condition, because I'm back in my childhood home. There's 2 floors. Now we have stair lifts because I can't walk up and down steps at all. But we do have stair lifts, but I do still need assistance to get off the stair lift. So I still can't do things on my own. I still need assistance.
So mobility presents issues quite often in your life, then, Crystal.
Correct.
Yeah.
Going back to the vitamin D thing. So the kidneys transform something that our kidneys normally, are normally transforming into vitamin D, but it's called calcitriol. And now the vitamin D is what balances things in our body, such as calcium and phosphate, and that's why you all as kidney warriors are supposed to stay away from foods high in phosphorus, because your kidneys are no longer able to break down those foods anymore to that proper level of phosphorus. All right, so we got Jared Brown, my twin brother, tuning in.
Hey, Jared.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, thanks for tuning in, Jared. Appreciate your support. And Shell Allen has been really good in tuning in throughout all of the shows so far. And she has a great question here. I love questions. I love questions. I love it when people drop questions. Flood the comment section, people. Right? So, do you have any sort of physical therapy to help with your mobility?
I was going to ask that. Go on.
Right. I have a physical therapist that comes to the house twice a week. I had her. She started actually when I was discharged from the hospital this last time, because my mobility went down even worse from being hospitalized. Because as you may all know, when you're not active, your muscles, they break down and quickly. And the little things that I could do before I went in the hospital, I couldn't do anything. And she got me back so far to the point where I was at prior to being hospitalized, maybe even a little bit stronger. So she's still working with me. She was here today. Good. She had me walking, and I'm looking at her like, "Oh, can leave me alone? Let me go sit down." I wanted to go sit down so bad, but I said no. I'm gonna walk, and we measured out because I'm walking inside of the house, of course. So we're measuring out different things and figuring out how long and how much I've walked. And she said, "Okay, Tuesday, we're gonna go downstairs and walk because I figured you would be able to walk even more because it's more room down there than it is up here." I said, "Okay."
In disagreement already.
But I have to admit, it's definitely working. I'm definitely much more stronger.
That's good that it's working.
I can get up from positions that I couldn't get up from before.
Great.
And that's why I said, as I told you before, now my mom and I can navigate through things together. Because before, my son, remember, 6'9", big and strong. Because I'm not a little woman. So I said there was a reason why God gave me that big boy, because he was my he helped me. He's been my caregiver since he was a teenager.
Wow, bless his life.
Wow.
And he helps
what a great support Jordan's been for you.
Yeah,
that's Jordan, you rock.
Yeah.
He's at work now, but that's one of the reasons why I moved back.
Props to Jordan, man.
That's one of the reasons why I moved back here, because now being here and I can do a little bit more and my mom is here with me, it allows him to free him up to be a young man that he needs to be, to go out there and have his fun. The fun I had at 22, let him have it. Oh, I don't want him to have to constantly be worrying about me and having to do things for me. And he's certainly taking advantage of it. He's loving it. I say I had to get used to the fact he'll go to work and then don't come home from right after work. And I'm like, in the beginning, I'm calling him, "You okay? What? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm hanging out." Oh, that's right. You are 22. Okay.
Yeah, you got used to him being around, and there's nothing wrong with that. Being a caregiver can be very tough. I've been that 3 times, and I tell you, when you get out, you don't know how to act, and sometimes you forget to come back or forget all your responsibility. You're having so much fun because you forgot. Because all your thoughts is to the person that you love and take care of. So you're not even thinking about yourself even. So when you're doing something, you say, "Wow, it feels good to get out." You feel like, "Wow, let me run. Somebody let me out." So I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him.
And Cheryl, thank you for your comment about Jordan. And the thing is, when you're a caregiver, it starts out to be a teenage boy. That was interesting. And he still does the things where you just want to strangle him up. Oh, but then it's like, okay, but wait, he's helping me. But so that's always a thing. Even to this day, 1 minute we're laughing and talking, the next minute I'm like, oh my goodness, this child of mine. But hey, he does more than a lot of kids his age would do.
Yeah.
And he fusses. He doesn't want to do this, that, or the other, but he'll do it. But he'll fuss about it. And I'm like, don't, So we battle still,
Wow,
is what I'm
that's
trying to
cool.
say. But
Yeah.
it's all for the good, and I'm just happy that he can get out there and be able to do things. You know, and he has to navigate around COVID.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
be safe too, you know.
yeah, because he
People
has
out
to
there
stay safe for me. I'm
Yes.
I'm comfortable.
Precisely, and because he's gonna have to come back to you, and he's always got to keep that at the forefront of his mind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, do you ever have any oral issues or anything like that? I mean, I had calcium problems as a kid, but even at this age now and stuff, I'm having different oral issues and stuff like that. You know, no,
No.
you lucky girl.
Right.
I ain't mad at you.
And when you say oral problems, Lisa, you're referring to not your speech, but with to your teeth.
Teeth. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Teeth. Because I remember before they wanted to restructure some bones or something in my mouth.
Oh, right.
You know, I told her no. Listen now, come on. I've had, like you said, I had a lot going on already. My husband was alive at the time. I'm like, no. And he said, I know you're upset. I said, no, I don't want to hear another negative thing or wrong thing. I remember they wanted to take all my teeth out before I got married, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And then I would have bleeding gums and swollen gums and gums that wouldn't go down and partials wouldn't fit in, all kind of stuff. And then nobody wants you or want to take you. They say, oh, no, we can't do nothing to you. We can't do, you know. And that was one of the things, well, not, you know, that I couldn't do my show really anymore or wanted to, because I want to deal with my health a little on some things. And I'm still dealing with the oral thing and I haven't gotten that straight. So, but I said that to say this because those kind of things can be, you know, disheartening. You know, I saw you smile, I was jealous. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I hold my hand in front of my mouth 1,000 times. And you know, of course you're gonna forget unless I'm wearing my mask or something like that. But you couldn't stand another thing, and I don't want that to be you anyway with the oral or any other thing. But you know, I'm glad you don't have that, and I'm glad that you're working on the bones and the movement because you're going to need that for circulation and so much more. And it'll be better because I do have a cane and a walker, but I miss running. I'm a jogger and a runner, and I'm upset that I still have it. I thought by now it'll be gone, and I could really be bragging about it. And people see me with it, and they say, oh, Lisa, you don't need that. But every time I push it away or try to get it away, they don't see me when I'm fall or crawling or anything like they see me in a strong moment, but the moment doesn't stay strong all the time. You know, I'll stand up without it, take a picture, take a pose, then I can't stand up straight, then I can't, you know.
And let's face it, we never want people to see us in our weakest moments, you know, or darkest moments. And so sometimes people won't realize really when we're struggling.
Right.
Yeah, they don't see it. Sometimes I just open book because I want them to learn something from me or my life. God forbid anything ever happen or anything. I want to be able to tell it enough so somebody can dodge that bullet. You know,
I'm seeing another question from Cheryl asking me about equipment. No, sweetheart, I don't need any equipment. Between me and my stepfather lives here, and he's actually a cancer patient, and he has like a lot of equipment. We have more walkers than the law should allow. I have a rollator on every floor. The basement, the first floor, and the second floor. We have one on each floor. We have walkers on regular walkers, and I have a wheelchair. He has a scooter. I use his scooter. Yeah, we're good.
So
we're good. But thank you. We are very fortunate.
Your home is well equipped with all that you need for getting around the house mobily.
Absolutely.
You must have shower chair and everything else.
Built in.
Wow. I didn't know how wonderful that was till I used my husband's one time. And I'm like, wow, I gave that away. I must have been I never got so clean. I'm like, what? I down. I thought the standing up was the be-all thing till I sat in that thing. You know.
Yeah, so
somebody needed it and I gave it away.
So Shell Allen, who not too long ago received her kidney transplant, she battled lupus, and then because of lupus nephritis, she she had kidney disease. But she was commenting here that she was embarrassed at first when she had to use her Mary Walker, but she got used to it. Are you both familiar with that?
What a Mary Walker?
Yes.
Or being embarrassed?
Well,
no.
I mean, kind of both. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the term Mary Walker.
I'm not either. I don't know.
No,
what that
me
is.
either. I wasn't embarrassed. I just didn't want to use it. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? I'm a walker and a runner and a shaker. I have no tolerance. I already got rid of illness. That illness, I didn't want to see another one. When that just bothered me. It still bothers me because I still try to run and everything, and I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm like, no.
And I'm sure you still you have all that energy, and that's what's telling you want to run and get around, but.
Oh, okay.
But your body tells you otherwise.
Or a rollator. Yeah,
It's
we got the rollator.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Yeah, I move fast with that, and I can really run with the walker though. With the walker, I could fly. That's why they don't think nothing's wrong with me. Most of my friends, I went to an event and they said that. They said, "Oh, please, that woman don't need that."
Well, no, they know I still need my things, but I'll tell you one thing. What 2 years ago, pre-COVID, we had a family reunion. And I like to dance. And it was a line dance songs they put on. And I just was in my seat just moving. And I told one of my relatives, come help me up. I got up on that dance floor with my walker and danced.
You just felt that groove and you had to get up, huh?
I said, look, now I gotta work this out. Help me up, get up here and let me try this. And they got pictures and video of me. And my sister said, yes, that's her dancing with a walker. I said, yes,
that's
it
right.
was.
You gotta make it work.
There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
It's not. It really isn't, you know. You got to do what you got to do. I've even did an exercise segment with my cane and my walker, sitting in a regular chair to show people to still have movement if they still in the house with COVID or just in the house or scared to leave. You know, people got different reasons why they don't come outside before COVID even got here.
Right.
You know, so, but yeah, I'm glad you did your thing.
I did. I had a ball.
Yeah.
I said, oh no, and that's just the crazy thing. We didn't know COVID was coming, but I thought to myself, I mean, how many times do we all get together as a family and have a reunion? I'm gonna enjoy myself today.
Right, reunions don't happen very often. Yeah,
and my family is in Maryland. That's where we had the reunion at. That's where a lot of my family is from, and I'm a big seafood eater. Oh, I couldn't wait. Let's get on out of here. I got to go get me some crabs. Let's go.
Oh, don't make me hungry, honey. Don't do it. Don't do it. What? You ain't
you got to enjoy yourself. You can't just, like I said before, you have different things that'll knock you down. You can't stay down. You got to figure your way around.
Absolutely.
Like you said when you were on that floor, you're going to figure out how to get up. You gotta work it out. You're gonna figure out how to make it work.
You got to.
Speaking of Maryland, Shell Allen is in Maryland.
Bring the crabs, girl.
And some good old crab.
But Lisa, she's originally from New York City. I remember this because I actually interviewed Shell Allen a couple months ago.
I've seen most of the interviews with all the people that have the podcast. I try to support.
I wish I could.
And you do that well.
You see, my schedule is so jam packed that I have meetings actually on Thursday nights normally for my religion. But it's just so happened. That's why I said Thursday, Jeff, when you were supposed to reach out to me when you did, because we have a special convention this Saturday. And because of it, it's all through Zoom. But because of that special convention we're doing this Saturday, our meeting is not being held tonight.
Oh, so you had a free moment.
So freed up your Thursday evening, huh?
I was like, he must have known. How did he know this?
God knows.
No, I just
that's right.
So I mean, I try to reach out to all the kidney warriors I advocate for, and I have a full plate, and I sometimes when I don't have contact with kidney warriors, I feel guilty when there's a period of time where I don't have contact, and so it just felt like a good time to reach out to you and contact you.
Well, I'll tell you this, you should never feel guilty about anything because you are absolutely wonderful. And he is wonderful, guys, at what he does. There'll be someone that might answer or ask a question. He's fast, too. Before I could get up there and say anything, he done answered it. And I said, oh, well, wait a minute. I don't want him to think that I'm not trying, but he's quick. I'm not that fast.
Yeah.
I said, now, which one of us is older?
Another mother.
I said, which one of us is older again? Is it me or Jeff and Jared?
I'm telling you.
Well, Jared will be the first one to remind you that he's older than me.
You love to throw it out there. Jay will throw it out there. He will throw it out there.
He's 10 minutes older than me, everybody, right?
Oh, wow.
And it should, by all means, I don't know why. Growing up, everyone called us Jeff and Jared. I don't know why Jeff always came first, but Jared always had to remind everyone. As a result, hey,
it could be Jared and Jeff.
Jared and Jeff. I'm the older one.
He's right, though. That's how it usually goes when people say my sister and I. He's 2 years older than me, and they say Shay and Crystal. It's never Shay.
But I mean, guess what though? I was actually coming out first, but I was coming out breech, so they had to turn me around, and before turning me around, Jared was born first.
So technically, you were supposed to be the older.
Yeah, but logistics just didn't allow that.
That sounds like the biblical twin thing when he grabbed the foot and all. I ain't mad at you. You're not going first.
All right. Wow. So I really want to thank you, Crystal, for allowing this broadcast to happen. I mean, I always have every Thursday and Friday night available to do this. It just so happens that this last Monday night, well, Monday night for you all, was Tuesday morning for me. I already had a broadcast for Ray Rodriguez, who's having his kidney transplant surgery. Well, it's Friday already for me. I'm saying today, Friday, right? And so that's why it was a special occasion to have the broadcast on a Monday night. It's during my work week, but I made an exception. As a result, I didn't have anything lined up for Thursday or Friday night. So this was perfect. And we were due for another live broadcast. That's the reason why I asked you. And you're really good at these, Crystal. You have a lot of feedback.
He does. I've seen a lot in action.
Well, thank you.
So there are guests that get really clammed up, or nervous during a live broadcast, and when that happens, there's a lull or an awkward moment, and there just never is an awkward moment or too much of a silent moment in between the times we're speaking, and you're an easy guest to interview.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in and supporting Crystal. She absolutely deserves this support and all the shares that have occurred in the comments and questions that have flooded the comment section, especially from Cheryl and Shell Allen. My twin brother Jared tuned in. And even Philip Harris Jones Jr. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and supporting Crystal.
Yes.
If you haven't already, whether it's now live or during the replay, please reach down and click on the share button. That is a tool at our disposal that helps speed up the process and increase the chances of Crystal finding her living kidney donor hero.
Absolutely, because I'll say this, like I said, I'm on the transplant list, And as Jeff shared, you could be up there 5 to 8 years. In this region, it's closer to 8 before you would get a deceased donor. So there's all that time where if I can find a match, a living match, it can speed that process up and make my quality of life so much better. I have a hashtag kidney by 50. Well, I turned 50 this past July.
I like that though.
And I tell everybody, with my issues with my kidneys, my polymyositis, all that took up my 40s. And I said, now let's get this kidney and let's get this rocking. I said, because I done told people, you're not going to be able to stand me when I get this kidney, because and let COVID clear up too. I'm going to be on the go. You're not going to know where I'm at. You're going to be trying to look for me, and I'm going to see each other.
So your friend Cheryl just posed a good question here, and I'll let you answer that. Crystal?
Besides the blood type, well, actually, the blood type is not even necessary, and I'll explain that in a moment. But the blood type, if you are on a match with the blood type, what you would do is call temple transplant. They start off by interviewing you on the phone, asking you questions. There's different things you have to pass on the phone interview. One being, they need you to be healthy. The one thing I tell people all the time is, don't worry about trying to be a kidney donor and something happening to you. They're going to check you from head to toe, and they're not going to allow you to be.
It's a very rigid, stringent medical evaluation they're put through.
Absolutely, they're going to make sure, because they're not going to harm you to help me, and I wouldn't want them to. And they're going to make sure that you're a candidate. To be a candidate, as far you just have to be healthy, and they're going to make sure of that, and willing. Those are the two requirements: healthy and willing. And and they take it from there. And even if your blood type is not an exact match, or you might have the same blood type, but our tissues don't match, if any of that happens, they have what they call a paired program. And I look at it as, I call it the switcheroo. You may not match me, but they would have your kidney that may match this person over here, and their person matches me, so they'll switch it off. And I know someone that actually had a transplant done with the paired program, and they did it all at the same time.
Wow!
But it might not. Was that also with
simultaneous?
Was that also with Temple, Crystal, or was it a different transplant hospital?
He was in a different transplant hospital. I'm not quite sure which one it was. I read about him online. He was actually my old supervisor at work.
Oh.
I say old, meaning previous supervisor, because he's younger than I am.
Right, forward.
I didn't even know him to be sick, because he wasn't. I think he had something that actually acute that happened that brought on his issue with his kidney. And I wasn't Facebook friends with him, but we shared friends, and I happened to see something, and I went to his page. I was like, "Wait, you had a kidney transplant? What did I miss?" And it's been quite a few years, and I reach out every now and then to ask him how's it going. And I have a cousin, because that's another thing. People say, "Well, can't your family members and this, that, and the other?" Oh, trust me, I have the ones that could be get tested, but my condition is more linked to hereditary. My family, we have a lot of diabetics and high blood pressure in my family. We have several family members that have had kidney issues or been on dialysis. I had a cousin.
Yeah,
he's about a couple of years older than me. He had been on dialysis for 8 to 10 years, somewhere in that time frame. He actually just got his kidney a month and a half ago. And I told him,
well, thank goodness for that.
I told him, okay, cuz you've been in this longer than me. You got your kidney now. Tag me in. I said, tag, I'm in.
Thank you. So,
my nephew kept telling me, that's my kidney you got. That's my kidney.
All right. So, Lisa, when you hear Crystal talking about high blood pressure, and then diabetes and all these things running in the family, I mean, that should ring pretty familiar with you, especially since PKD also runs in your family.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had 6 siblings on dialysis: 2 aunts, an uncle, a mother-in-law, and a great aunt. And I only had one got on because of diabetes, but the rest of us had polycystic kidney disease. So that's why I run hard and advocate for that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that hereditary stuff. You try to. I didn't get anything from my family. Matter of fact, I don't even remember really asking them. I think some coworkers and friends were stepping up to try to give me a kidney. But it was my husband who was the perfect match, but ended up with something wrong with a valve in his heart and couldn't give me the kidney. But he was the first person that actually was a perfect match to give me. But you said one key thing that I love. You said they won't hurt you to harm me to hurt you. Something I don't know. I forgot.
It won't hurt
I
you
went so
to help
long to
me.
say it. Say it. What is it?
They won't hurt you to help me.
Yes, that should be a button or
Right.
something, because that's what people think when they don't want to give a kidney. They said, "No, I might die on
Yeah.
the table."
Very
this
well,
and that.
very
But
well put.
That was an excellent saying. It's the first time in my whole life I heard that in
Oh.
all the 12 years or 20 years that I've been dealing with
No, I
the
mean,
kidney stuff.
It's very true. I mean, that's in a nutshell. It's very well put. I mean, because to donate a kidney, you must be in good overall physical and good mental health. Okay.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
as a general, and as a general rule, they say you have to be 18 or older. Okay. And you must have good kidney function, and they'll test for that. You know, there are some medical conditions that may prevent somebody from being a kidney donor, and through this rigid, stringent medical evaluation, they will find that they will not allow you to be a kidney donor if any of these conditions will present a risk presently or in the future.
Exactly.
And some of these medical conditions that would preclude one from being a kidney donor would be uncontrolled high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, HIV, hepatitis, or acute infections. But they'll find these things, or a serious mental health condition that's not being controlled.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that a lot of people are concerned about or don't understand or know is that, they feel as though they don't have adequate medical insurance, or it's going to be too expensive or a hardship for them. And I make it very clear that my insurance pays for all testing as well as the procedure itself. Like, they don't come out of pocket for any of that. And
exactly. And nowadays, and I'm sure Lisa could expound on this better than I can with your experience, but nowadays there is more also in terms of as far as monetary assistance is concerned to help pay for other things that, as far as like if someone had to travel out of state, stay at a hotel, transportation, lost wages. Exactly. Thank you. There are other ways and programs that will help assist in terms of money to help pay for those things.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that question where people say, I don't want to do it because when they found out, because I'm a donor myself, if they find out they're going to be trying to get me my kidney or try to get the rest of my organs, if I go in the hospital or something, they see that I have a donor's card, they're going to do secret things to me. I heard people say that too, And I'm like, well, no, this is an important thing. Nobody's harvesting any things, I guess because we see some pictures on TV that can shake your mind up or mess with your head. So I dig that. I understand. Well, not dig it, but I understand it. Wow. Or I won't get into heaven. Or I need all the parts to go. I've heard it all.
Here's the bottom line, right? Now, there are a lot of different religions that believe different things, but the bottom line is we're not going to take these things with us after we die, okay? And please, folks, whether you please just check the box to be an organ donor, and you can save up to 8 lives by just checking that box when you die, okay? And So if you don't want to be a living kidney donor, at least check that box to be an organ donor on your driver's license, right?
Mhm.
But the reality of the situation is, and I think there needs to be more education put out there that if you are healthy, you can live a perfectly healthy life by donating your kidney. And after donating your kidney, over time, the remaining kidney will increase in size and compensate in functionality for the one that is that's in absence.
Yeah.
It's missing.
Yeah, and I'll
So,
say this: I've met a lot of people in my journey that I was like amazed when they were like, "Oh, I donated a kidney." Like I had a former coworker, and as a matter of fact, her birthday was yesterday, and she told me that she donated a kidney years ago. I would, you know how you say, I wouldn't know that looking at her. I would have no idea. She's perfectly, you know. I'm like, you gave a kidney?
Wow.
We don't know these things because we think that person now, they're not 100% or they're not where they were before. No, she's perfectly fine.
Wow.
Older woman, and she's kicking. She's doing her thing.
Wow. Crystal, you had a good job. You had a boss that got a kidney and a co-worker that gave a kidney.
Yeah.
Wow. You in
I
the right
worked for the phone company for almost 25 years.
Yeah, you're surrounded by good people, Crystal.
Good vein.
A good group of people.
Excellent. Fantabulous.
To be honest with you, when I first put something on Facebook asking for donors or people to get tested, out of the 5 people that first responded that they wanted to be tested, 4 of them were former coworkers.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Some of them I didn't even know that well, and they were like, "Oh, I'll get tested. I'll get," you know. And unfortunately, they weren't matches or were different obstacles, but
right. But that is so impressive, you know, and it usually comes from the beginning from those people that know you, you know, or had a connection with you. That's fantastic. So we're gonna wrap things up here. I want to thank you, Crystal, for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank wholeheartedly Lisa Baxter at a moment's notice for agreeing to be my co-host. The fabulous Lisa Baxter.
You're so welcome. You
fabulous Lisa Baxter, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome anytime, anywhere.
All right, so I'm going to keep marching forward, advocating for you, Crystal, doing all that I can. I'm praying for you. I'm in your corner 100%, okay?
I appreciate you.
If you ever need anything, do not hesitate.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everybody out there, y'all rock.
Absolutely. And if I missed anybody's comment, I know I want to say this to Cheryl. If you still have my number, call me because I don't know if I have yours.
Man, Jeff, Crystal, y'all rock.
God bless you all.
Absolutely.
All right.
Excellent.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. I love you all. God bless you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Holidays.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Shando.